as I was getting up there, it took 10, 15 maybe minutes to get up to the ridge. And when I got up there, I could see that still, I couldn't really see out. There was still too much heavy bush around. I was a little bit disappointed. And I turned around, headed back down to the path. And after about 15, 20 minutes, I thought, I should have got to the path by now. I must have missed it. No problem. I'll just go back up, I'll find it. So I went back up, didn't see the path on the way up to the top. Oh, interesting, okay. It's down here. Went back down. It's got to be there. And it wasn't. And I thought, gosh, I'm sure it was down here. As I said, I'm reasonably familiar with this kind of environment. I sort of feel confident in it. It's down there. And I went up and down and up and down several times. And each time going a little bit further down, thinking, maybe it was further. Maybe I haven't gone all the way down yet. And up and down and up and down. It started to get dark. I wasn't too concerned because I knew the path was down there where I remembered it was. But it was getting dark and it was very steep country. And I thought, gosh, well, I'm not sure about whether I should keep doing this. And as night fell, I realised, gosh, I could be spending the night out here. And I'm just wearing a singlet and a pair of shorts and my running shoes. But fortunately it was February and not too cold in New South Wales. I started pulling up some leaves and things, thinking, well, I guess I'm going to be sleeping out here. But it was fine, really, because I thought, well, the path's just down there. I know where it is. And then after some time, the moon came out and it was suddenly light again. And I was awake and starting to think, actually, I know the path's down there, but actually I've been down there about 18 times and I didn't find it. And I started to reflect. I thought, gosh, maybe I don't know where the path is. And in the moment that I allowed that thought into my mind, this bolt of energy of absolute terror just exploded through my whole system. It's like, I'm going to die out here and they're not even going to know until I don't turn up for the opening talk, And it was kind of like this quintessential terror, fear, survival thing. I don't know where I could be facing completely 180 degrees the wrong direction. I'm a goner. It's like I've got no idea anymore. And what exploded in that was the certainty that I'd had about knowing where the path was. Because the reality was, I thought the path was down there, but my experience had been telling me for about 2 hours that it's not down there and I would not listen. I was sure it was down there. And the reason I would not listen was if I didn't listen to my certainty, I was going to have to face the fact that I didn't actually know where I was in terms of the path. And it was like, this all took place in about a 13th of a second, just. And I was like, And then I realised, well, if the path isn't down there, because I thought it was, in fact I'm sure it is, but it's not because I haven't found it there, maybe it's somewhere else. And so I thought, okay, 15, 20 degrees round from there, I'll try down here. And as I said, the moon had come out, I could see reasonably well. Made my way down. I was sure I wasn't going to find it down here because it was over there. I knew where it was. 15 minutes later, there was the path. I was like, So I got home about midnight, scratched and covered in soot because there'd been a fire in the forest earlier in the year. It was really interesting to reflect on that, how strongly I felt I knew the path and where it was. And how I could have been stuck out there, lost and, who knows, died. But I wouldn't have been caught out there by anything other than my fear of facing the fact that I did not know anymore where the path was. That I did not know what would happen if I gave up my certainty in it. But in terms of going against the stream, the momentum of certainty, it's like if we're willing to say and to acknowledge that we don't know where the path is, we don't know where the answer is, what that does is it frees us up to explore where it might be. And in that exploration, we're bound to find it. We're bound to find it. I mean, I was fortunate. I went 15 degrees this way. If I'd gone 15 degrees the other way, I'd already figured this out. Okay, you've got to go down and up here, come back up, go down and up there, and keep going around until you've tried all the ways you can do this. And hopefully haven't, broken an ankle on the way. But that sense of, are we willing to take that risk with our life? That the track we've been following up and down, looking for the path or looking for the resolution, if we haven't found it, it's because it's not there. Despite the fact that we're convinced that it is, and that there might be a moment, or more than just a moment, of despair involved in acknowledging that to be true. In our willingness to face that, there is also the vastness of possibility that opens up, in which we start to engage in our life as an exploration rather than as a repetition. And in that exploration, all things are possible. When we have the courage to go against the stream of the familiar, the comfortable, the safe, we find the deeper stream of our heart, the deeper stream of our life that has its own wisdom, has its own momentum, somewhat quieter than that of the surface, but like a deep ocean current, like a deep ocean current. When we learn to relax into it, in fact, starts to guide and carry our life. So much of what we conceive and what we do is centered around an unquestioned sense that what we are is something separate from what we are in. And so far as this remains unquestioned, then we stay within a field of seeking security and safety for that sense of who or what we are that feels or appears to be separate. But as and to the degree that we're willing to question that, to consider that maybe that's not the whole truth, not to assume that it's somehow false, but to question it, not to take a different position,